March the 30th, 2020. This is the media briefing pertaining to the COVID-19 briefing. We will have a statement will be delivered by our Health Administrator, Becky Barnes, and then our Health Officer in Hamilton County will be Dr. Paul Hendricks. At this time, I'll introduce Becky Barnes.
Thank you, and again, thank you for coming. The Hamilton County Health Department reports 2 new cases of COVID-19 today, bringing the total cumulative cases to 39. Unfortunately, we must also report another death, bringing the total deaths to 2 in Hamilton County. Health Department epidemiology staff work with all new cases to identify close contacts. In the beginning of the response, each case contacts were numerous as social distancing measures hadn't taken place. Staff then became encouraged as the number of contacts reported by cases became much smaller. But unfortunately, in recent times, cases are now reporting more contacts than would be expected for social distancing. This means there are still people who are not abiding by social distancing guidelines. In addition, Hamilton County citizens have reported to the Health Department other examples of gatherings that continue to occur and put our citizens at risk. We have heard through our hotline and seen on social media citizens in Hamilton County continuing to have large gatherings such as street parties and employers that are not allowing appropriate social distancing in the workplace. I cannot stress the importance of social distancing. Only 10 of our 39 cases are linked to someone we know tested positive for the virus. This means that we do not know where 29 people acquired the infection. This signifies that there is a large amount of community spread happening in Hamilton County. People are coming in close contact with others who are not in their immediate family. If the spread of COVID-19 in Hamilton County is to be contained, this kind of activity has to stop. Although social distancing emphasizes maintaining a distance of at least 6 feet from others, the Health Department asks that you stay at home with only the people in your household when at all possible. If you must go out, sit or stand a minimum of 6 feet from others. When planning a trip to the store for essential items, such as groceries and medications, adhere to the following. Don't go to the store for just a few items. Plan your trip. Send only one person to the store, and if that person needs assistance, consider sending someone else or only 2 people at best. Do not send anyone coughing or anyone with a fever or any type of cold or flu symptom. Wash your hands before going to the store, and once inside the store, you'll be handling items that you have no way to wash your hands. So it is important that you do not touch your face before you can wash your hands or use hand sanitizer. If the store offers sanitizing wipes, use these to clean your cart handle. Passing someone in the aisle is not a problem, but if you see a friend, don't stop and socialize. Call them later. If you are near someone, maintain 6 feet distance, especially in the checkout, and use credit and debit cards instead of cash. Please do not hoard groceries or supplies. As I said before, I cannot tell you how important these measures are to stop the virus in our community. This is the primary means that we have. This is how we do it. In addition to knowing only 10 of our 39 cases were epi-linked, about 44% of our cases were initially hospitalized. Some cases who were initially hospitalized have gotten worse and then were hospitalized. A number of the cases that we are following aren't getting better. The age range of positive cases is 25 to 87, with a mean age of 58, and more males are testing positive than females. Various races are affected. And specific data on these cases will be in our press release and of course on our website soon. So now I'm going to ask Dr. Hendricks if you'll talk a little bit about message to our physician community.
Good, thanks, Becky. Yes, today I'd like to address my fellow physicians and other medical colleagues here in Hampton County and their patients on a very important topic. We all know that the way we're going to defeat this virus is to prevent its spread. That's why we're emphasizing the need for everyone to practice social distancing, just like Becky just mentioned. It's especially important for those who are sick to be physically isolated from others. If your patient presents, again, to my physicians, my fellow physicians, if your patient presents with symptoms that make you suspicious enough for COVID-19 that you decide to refer that patient for testing, that patient is considered to have the virus unless proven otherwise. In the moment of that decision, that patient should be given a mask and advised about the same isolation procedures that all positive COVID-19 patients need to follow. This is especially true if a symptomatic patient that you're treating reports a known history of contact with a patient who was positive for COVID-19. That patient would clearly have a high likelihood of testing positive themselves. This is to protect their family, their other close contacts, and the public as a whole. It's important for this process to start at the time of diagnosis or at the time of even suspicion of a diagnosis to minimize any additional exposure. We're finding those who don't understand why they need to follow these precautions if they haven't yet tested positive. We need the help of the medical community to educate these patients. Symptomatic patients who are awaiting test results also need to be aware that anyone that they've been in close contact with, meaning less than 6 feet for more than 10 or 15 minutes, since 2 days before developing their symptoms, are also at risk of spreading that virus, and therefore those close contacts of that patient will be expected to quarantine themselves and stay away from others. We know these are very difficult restrictions, and we're creating a heavy burden on those who are affected by them. But as I said before, the only way we will beat this virus is to stop its spread. Since we know that the main way this virus spreads is from one person to another, the way to stop it is to separate ourselves physically from one another. The sooner we do this, the sooner we can end this epidemic. Thank you to all my colleagues for helping to stop this disease.
Now we'll open up to just a few questions. Go ahead.
So how many people, with these 2 new cases, have you guys interviewed anyone else, like any other people they've been in contact with in the past couple of days? Any new interviews?
Have we done any new interviews?
Yes.
Yes, we interviewed every positive case. So that would be 2 today that we are actively interviewing, and then I think we had 2 yesterday. So yes, every new case.
Any new quarantines right now?
Beg pardon?
Any new quarantine, any new addition to quarantine right now?
Yes, yes.
Good. Can you tell us how old the new death was, and can you also specify if there's any available location information for the cases of immigrants?
The death, I don't know. I know it was an older person, but at the specific age, I don't have right now.
And is there any available information as the cases rise, as to if there's clusters in certain areas of the county?
We are not seeing any clusters right now, but we will never be able to, release a specific location of cases. When hate to say when, I'm hoping that never happens, but if we get large numbers and we can aggregate it to the point where people's privacy is protected, we can release that kind of geography map.
But if you saw like trends of it being in one area.
Absolutely, yes, yes.
Can you provide an update on the NHC Chattanooga nursing home case? And on top of that, what is the county doing to protect people who are in nursing homes, just looking at the trend of deaths within nursing homes across the country?
Yeah, I don't have any update on any specific case that you're referencing.
The NHC Chattanooga nursing home case?
Well, we wouldn't speak about a particular case. Yeah.
There's no cluster or grouping at this point. But we have people in contact with nursing homes, and we're recommending the appropriate precautions, and they're putting those in place. So we're what we can in that direction.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you talk a little bit, over the weekend, we kind of saw people, they were sending us videos of people at Walmart shopping with their entire family and things like that. Can you talk about how important it is to go just by yourself and things like that? Don't take your entire family if possible.
Yeah, I think as we said, go to the store maybe once a week if at all possible. Limit your visits and limit it to one person. Family shopping or even other family events, the more people stay home, the safer they're going to be and the safer our communities.
We can't overemphasize that.
I mean, it's videos.
Your reports and videos come in of gatherings, and it's difficult to do anything specific, but just keep reminding. That's why we're doing this.
Go ahead.
How has the Baylor testing been helping you guys out, and have the new results come from Baylor's lab? Can you answer that?
Certainly the Hamilton County lab at Baylor is a great asset for our community. And having lab results turn around quickly is helpful too. Any additional labs are certainly welcome. We've done maybe 75, I guess, over the weekend, including today. So we're building capacity, and I think it's a great resource.
I spoke to a physician today who was talking about what a great help that has been in the hospitals and getting patients diagnosed with this.
Where are we at compared to the rest of the state in the number of cases and how it's growing? I mean, nationally, we're seeing it basically double every day or every 2 days. Where are we at? What do we compare with the state numbers when it comes to that?
I'm not sure that I'm anything statistical on that, but
Yes, I mean, when you look at some of the larger cities, Memphis and Nashville, their cases, even proportionally to our population, is larger. But I don't think we can rest and feel good about that. I mean, I think that every case we get should be a warning that the virus is out there. So even if we are not proportionately as big as some of the bigger cities in Tennessee, that we can't stop our vigilant efforts.
Go ahead, Sarah. Why did the Baylor lab start testing leave last week when it was first planned to go on Thursday but waited till Friday? Why are we only at 75 when we were told it would be 65?
Yeah, well, initially, as I've answered questions before, the day that it was approved, I mean, there was still paperwork, there were still regulatory things that we had to resolve. And then, as with any new endeavor, our partners, hospitals, providers, had to get a network. I mean, there's just a lot of things. There's requisitions, couriers to get moving, and so it's just bringing up the system. So it's gradually growing, and we're really pleased.
I think we first became really aware of this about 2 weeks ago. So it's been incredible.
So where is the county in terms of resources and materials to be testing? Because I heard that you are at risk of running out of materials this week if you don't get more than 6.
For swabs.
Testing materials, yeah, I'm not sure, I haven't got a clarification on the swabs or in lab, but
I mean,
that's all those.
as far as the health department, we have, like our legislators and a lot of our county officials have helped us tremendously to make connections, and we have received more testing supplies. So that that obstacle is being resolved. So we are, working toward being able to do community testing as soon as everything has in place with, the Baylor lab being able to, test the appropriate hospital. We committed first to hospitals to get their backlogs to turn around quickly. And once that gets resolved and there's capacity, we will begin community testing.
Can you be more specific about what size of supply you have and how long that might last, or what capacity you have to test right now?
No, I don't know that. Because it honestly comes in different things. There's these particular types of testing, but you can't use it with this lab and this one. So it's kind of complicated, and sometimes the testing supplies that you can use is specific to the lab that you send them to.
Let's take two more, go ahead.
When you look at the state's website, 25% of the confirmed cases are actually 21 to 30-year-olds. As health experts, do you all have any explanation as to why this is?
We know that younger people can't catch this virus. Now, older people are at greater risk, particularly of complications, and people with chronic medical problems. And I believe that some of the younger people who've got it also have health problems. I can't confirm that, but I think anecdotally that's the case. So this is not surprising. We know it happens when people are older, but there's a fair amount that are younger. You're not immune if you're young. You may have a better chance of having a less severe illness, but you're not immune, and you can spread it if you get it. So not only do we want to prevent the younger people from getting sick, but if they do get sick, even if they have a mild case, you do not want them spreading it to people who are at risk of greater illness. So that's not a surprise at all.
One more, Jake.
No, you go ahead,
This press briefing started out with a concern to keep people to stop getting together, stop the social gathering. At what point, what number do you guys have in mind before you go to the mayors and say, lock it down?
Well, we're certainly, the mayor's recommending that at this point in terms of I don't think there's any question about social distancing and people not gathering. The governor announced that, the mayor's announced that. So,
But I'm referencing a strict stay at home order, don't even leave the house.
that's certainly what we're recommending to people.
But it hasn't been mandated.
At what point would it become mandated by you guys would push for it to be mandated? Is there a number involved? Is it 2,000 cases? Is it 3,000? Is there a number in your mind where we have to mandate stay at home?
A decision that will be decided by the mayor, and we consult with them on that.
I mean, there is a certain amount of that.
Thanks, everybody, I appreciate it. This is the ending of our press conference. We will be notifying you if there's going to be any additional press conferences here in the next couple of days to come. For any additional information that you might need pertaining to the COVID-19 information site, please use the health department's county website. It is very informative, and they update that on a daily basis.